Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Today's program is called The Scariest Dream That Anybody Has Ever Sent Me. And I'm going to start with a disclaimer. In other words, if you can't handle something that's pretty difficult, we're talking about persecution stuff, then now would be a good time to click away. If you can only handle the soft, fluffy things, then you don't want to go here, okay? But if you want to make it through the trouble, because you know the things are coming. I mean, it's kind of like if you know you're about to get hit in the jaw, maybe you prepare for it a little bit. Well, all Americans, specifically Christians, are about to get hit in their jaw. That is, if they're Christian. And so by preparing for it, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, hopefully we can be successful at it. All right, anyway, so here we go. Got to give you some background now. So, I started the Prophecy Club in 1993. And in the days of Y2K, which was in 1999, leading up to when they thought that the computers around the world were all going to crash and the world was all going to fall apart and everything, there were some things going on that I want to mention. In the days of Y2K of 1999, there were rumors abounding about railroad cars filled with shackles. A few claimed they saw them, but no one ever sent me any pictures of it. And in those days, Prophecy Club was the #2 prophecy ministry in America. We were on 80 radio stations, 25 TV stations, $300,000 a month, I think, in radio and TV airtime. And so, there wasn't an internet. And so there were very few voices. I mean, there was probably 5 prophecy ministries at the time, because it costs so much to be on radio and TV. Whereas you can get on the internet, it's for free, okay? And doesn't necessarily mean you're called of God to do it. You can just put on some stuff and people send you donations, so you put on some more stuff. But Prophecy Club was one of the only places that they could send this kind of information to. Another rumor that there was a container that was dropped at one of the ports, I don't remember which one, and out came unassembled guillotines and associated parts. Another rumor was that some people had seen that these empty FEMA camps, topped with barbed wire, only accessible by helicopter, no roads going to them. Again, these are just rumors. I never got any proof of any of it. I do understand that there are some underground detention centers in places like the Denver airport. Also rumors of roundup lists. Red, blue, or green. Red was supposed to be the guys that are picked up the very first. Probably I would be on the red list. If I'm doing my job anyway. Okay, so let's go on. So let me give you a few scriptures to back up what is about to be very shaking to you. In case you think, oh, yeah, that'll never happen. Well, I've got 8 scriptures you're looking at right now that says it is going to happen. Revelation 6:9, when he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls that were slain for the word of God, for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell upon the earth? White robes given to every one of them, said to them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. Meaning, some people are assigned by God to get the highest blessings in eternity by giving their life for Jesus. I've asked, but probably I'm not going to be granted that opportunity. And I said unto them, Sir, thou knowest, he said, these are they which came out of great tribulation, washed their robes, made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore they before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth upon the throne shall dwell among them, and they shall... Let's go on, though. Okay, so, for they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. And I saw the woman, meaning the Catholic Church, drunken with the blood of saints, with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration, skipping again. Rejoice over us, talking about America now. Thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. That is specifically telling you that there will be Christians martyred, killed, for the name of Jesus in America. As a matter of fact, the next verse says that we are held accountable for all those that are slain upon the earth, because we're supposed to be that police officer that holds the devil back around the globe, protects Christians, and we failed at it. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, and that all were slain upon the earth. Okay, there's your 8 verses. Yeah, it's in the scriptures. But let me point out 2 specific things that are about to be fulfilled in this dream. The first angel sounded. Now, sounded means that this is the Feast of Trumpets, and I'll show you where that is on my chart in just a minute. The first angel sounded. Remember, the audible voice told me that the 7 seals play over 7 years. The 7 trumpets play over 7 months, as in the last 7 months. And the 7 vials play over the last 7 days. They all conclude on the last Feast of Trumpets. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. Here it is. And the third part of the trees was burned up, and all green grass was burned up. And this dream, it's a pretty good picture of that. Meaning, I think it's telling us when this is going to happen, and I think that that's telling us that it's going to be in the last 6 or 7 months. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. This is talking about the Catholic Church. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with the fire. Specifically, the Catholic Church and America are going to be responsible for killing a lot of people whose names are in the book of life. So here's where it happens. Now, let me play this back, kind of explain. The 7 seals play over 7 years, but they conclude here. The 7 trumpets play over the last 7 months, conclude here on the Feast of Trumpets. The 7 vials play over the last 7 days. Once again, they all conclude here on the Feast of Trumpets. But here is where a third of the trees were burned up and all green grass burned up. That kind of fits with everything else. So here's a little bit closer look at it. You can pause and study this. This is in my book. If you order Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, I go through and explain all of this to you. So you might want to go to prophecyclub.com and get that. Matter of fact, the best offer is the 40-book package for $100. That's the best deal. Gives you lots of other books to give away. Let's go on. And here, it's taking place probably in the ballpark of here. So the next time Jesus returns here in a lamb body, walks around with 144,000 one-year-old Jewish boys, then we, those people washing the blood of the lamb, then go to the marriage supper of the lamb where we were given a white wedding garment. That's the reason he said white wedding garments, and or white clothes. And then about 4 months later, we return with Jesus here, riding on white horses behind him with the armies in heaven. Now, this is the letter that was sent to me. Now, obviously, you can't read that too much, so I put this where you can read it a little easier. It says, I recently applied for a job at Butterball Chicken Plant in Carthage, Missouri. Part of the job would have been checking the inventory at the cave in a place called the Underground. The Underground is downtown Carthage. It's a large open pit about 40 foot deep with a flat ground center, and a man-made caves dug into the sides with different companies occupying the caves. Chickens are delivered and kept trapped in one or more of these cages until they are hauled to Butterball for meat processing. I was very disappointed I did not get this job, and I was grieved over it, and the next week I got this vision. Last chance to click away. I was at my 1907 home of this dream in Missouri, which used to be the servant headquarters for the mayor's mansion, now torn down. It sits on a hilltop, overlooking the railroad tracks and the blacktop 2-lane road at the base of the hill. I was standing outside my house in my backyard. Everything was burnt black, ruins, and blackened pillars of what used to be trees. See, that fits with what we just read in the scriptures, okay? The whole neighborhood was burnt. That fits too. I looked at my house. The top was gone. It had fallen in. It's a makeshift roof over the corners of the basement is all that remained. It looked like somebody was living there because I saw a fire burning some branches, but I could not see anybody. I started walking down the hill. I was nervous if I would be shot by a guard, but I didn't see anybody. So this is taking place here, probably the last 7 months. That's the good news. I heard the train coming from the north to south towards Carthage. I got about 2/3 down the hill and close enough to see the train cars clearly and what was in them. I saw cattle cars crammed full of naked people wailing. I saw open-top coal cars full of dead bodies. I instantly knew they were being taken to Carthage, to the cave, where they waited for slaughter as meat. Society had turned cannibal. The horror of it all felt like a kick to the gut. I hit the grass to my knees and wailed. I snapped out of the vision. I was in my home. I continued wailing for an hour because it felt so real to me. After I managed some calm, I ran outside to make sure nothing was burned and nothing was burning. It wasn't. All was normal. Now, let's go back and read the part in the yellow. I saw cattle cars crammed full of naked people wailing. Why would they be naked? Well, the Nazis, before they put the people into the gas chambers, had them take off all their clothes. They told them, well, you're just going to go in for a shower. Well, they got the clothes off because they just used the clothes on somebody else or sold them or who knows what. But apparently the people were burned without any clothes or sometimes buried. But if you're going to make food out of them, with the clothes on. And taking off clothes off of a bunch of dead bodies is not exactly easy, and it's pretty gross. Bad enough to have to handle the naked dead bodies, even worse if they have clothes on. I saw cattle cars crammed full of naked people wailing. I saw open-top coal cars full of dead bodies. Instantly I knew they were being taken to Carthage, to the cave, where they waited for slaughter as meat. In other words, just like the chickens, like the turkeys. Okay, so they're killing the chickens, killing the turkeys. We're seeing all kinds of train derailments and things like that. 150 different places over the last 18 months have been destroyed, not just in America, but around the world. And I've got another article about how Kansas wheat is down to like 27% of what they normally get. In other words, there is a concerted, planned effort by evil in high places to remove our food. I once saw a movie about, I believe it was a track team whose airplane crashed up in the snowy mountains of the Alps someplace, and they literally had to eat the dead people that were killed in the crash in order to survive. We want to think we wouldn't do anything like that, but if you go back and read in the Old Testament, that's exactly what they did. They resorted to cannibalism. So, are they trying to bring us to that point? Now, there's more. This was 2022 when this article came out. It says, is Soylent Green really that far-fetched? And it talks about how they're now approving of using humans for human composting. Natural organic reduction is a burial alternative, commonly referred to as human composting. Now, apparently, they have a liquid they can put the body in, and it totally dissolves the body. And then from that, they can make human food. Oh, surely not. Well, this movie I actually saw when it first came out back in the 70s, maybe. It's called Soylent Green, starring Charlton Heston. You can probably pull it up someplace and watch it. But the interesting part of it is, right on the front cover, it says it's the year 2022. People are still the same. They'll do anything to get what they need, meaning food. Now, each day they had these crackers. They would roll down the street, throwing the crackers to the right, throwing them to the left, and the people would scramble out and grab them, and that was their food for the day. But their favorite was the green, because sometimes they had the blue and the red. Well, it was called Soylent. All of it was called Soylent. But the green Soylent was the best. Now, could it be that these people that really have a time machine, see, I can't even say those words anymore. That's why they took me off before. I didn't violate the rules. I just exposed their God. Could it be that we are not too far off from actually seeing cannibalism again? If our survival, if we didn't have Jesus in our heart, and if our survival depended upon eating, I don't even think I'll finish that sentence. The question is, would we do it? Now, another thing that kind of ties in. May 27, 2016, in my prayer closet, I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, thank you so much for giving us the prophecies about the future, but I would like to have an overview from now until Inauguration Day. Now, this is 2016. The prophecies you've given are like bug's eye views. What I need is a bird's eye view, an overview. And I ask you to show this to either Leslie or to Pastor Massey. Now, Pastor Massey is one that Leslie just got back from ministering to in Pakistan. This guy has a miracles ministry. He started over 300 churches in Pakistan, led over 300,000 Muslims in Pakistan to the Lord. I think that qualifies him to be credible. But he's not a prophecy student. And as he listens to me talk about prophecy, his eyes cross. It's not his thing, And that's the reason I asked him to be the one that God would speak to about it, because I know he wouldn't cook it up. He doesn't know enough about the last days to cook up something. Besides that, I didn't tell him that I was praying that God would speak to him. So this is the night before my prayer closet. I said, Lord, would you speak to either Leslie or Pastor Massey and give them an overview of the future? Boy, did I get my answer. So the next morning, Pastor Massey called saying, I had a dream. I don't understand it, but I had a dream, and I'm impressed to call you. And I said, well, tell me the dream. He told me the dream. And I said, I know perfectly what it is saying, because this is the answer to my prayer last night. That confirms the dream is of God. So he had 5 different points in it. The first part of the vision, he says, we were plowing. Now remember, this is 2016. We were plowing. Very nice things were happening, good things like 7 years of plenty. Think back on 2016. Those were some good days. Those were some good years, you remember? Then the scene changed. We came home. Someone dropped off 2 children at my house. One girl thought that we were the best people to take care of these children. They were scared that they would not have any food. There was no food anywhere where they were living. I hope you're hearing it. JosephKitchen.com. I hope you've made preparations for food. Then the scene changed to the third one. I was sitting there in my living room. Someone came to the door to hurt these children, and they said, let me talk to you. And I said, well, before I talk to you, let me get my, I probably shouldn't say that word. Let's see, my shooting iron. There you go. Because I don't want to talk to you without my shooting iron. So I got my shooting iron, loaded it with 3 cartridges, and talked with them. Meaning, first thing we're going to see is good times drop. Second thing is no food. We've got prophecies on that, like 14 prophecies. Then we saw you have to have your own protection. Apparently, they do defund the police. And we've already seen police departments can't hire people. Police officers, I just talked to a racquetball buddy of mine that he works with a lot of police officers, and he says they can't get people. They can't get them to come to the police officer training, the hiring thing, and the percentage of police officers keeps dropping. And then, of course, if they defund them, if you can't take care of yourself, I mean, it's going to be like the Wild West days. If you can't protect yourself, you have no protection at all. Fourth scene, he says, there was a main road by my house. And I saw like a herd of people walking down this road. So many people, like a herd of cows or sheep. The road was packed. They were close together like sardines. Meaning, now America was uninhabitable, either because of the nuclear bombs going off, the radiation, maybe there's no food, maybe no water, all of the above. But people were walking, leaving the nation. Why weren't they in cars? Because the nukes went off, fried the computer chips in the cars. Cars won't start, which is why we will send you to EMPShield.com so you can get a little device on your car. Hopefully it will stop it. At least that's what they say. The fifth scene is the worst scene, which confirms what the other lady saw. I saw that they begin to get chopped up. Only a few of them are like one or two get spared out of 1,000 people. I saw some kind of a chopping machine chopping them in half, some chopping their heads off, and I thought this must be the end, and only a few people were spared, and we went into hiding. Let me ask you this. Are you watching Prophecy Club just out of habit? Are you watching it because you've been watching it for a lot of years? Or are you really taking it to heart? Time and time and time and time again, we've been told by different people, don't know each other, but they're saying the same thing. Mouth of two witnesses, let a thing be established. It's saying a time is going to come when people in America are going to be starving. Do you have preparations? Then, 6/28 of 2022, Pastor Messine called me again. He said, I had a dream last night, and I don't understand it. I said, okay, tell me. He says, well, Joseph. And I said, Joseph as in the pyramids and Joseph? He said, yeah, that Joseph. He said, Joseph came to me in the dream last night and told me to get prepared. My father told me in this dream, he says, my father told me to go get the wheat. When I went to get the wheat, there was no more wheat. What's happening right now? Maybe tomorrow I'll bring it. I mean, I've got so many things happening. I can't get them all in a 30-minute program. There was no more wheat. Kansas wheat is down to 27%. That's what they're saying in Kansas. And it is the number one wheat producer in America. There's going to be a food shortage. I got 13 other people saying the same thing. I was impressed that I should get a bag of wheat and a grinder for it. Then I saw all 18-wheeler trucks stopped. Now, we heard about this last year. 18-wheeler trucks have not stopped yet. But when that dollar starts falling, it falls 30%, 18-wheelers might have to start parking. It falls to 50%, that means everything doubles in prices. We might not get 18-wheeler trucks moving anymore. I'm telling you, you better have food, you better have water, you better be... My plan is to be able to stay in my house for at least 6 months, preferably a year. Stay in my house without going outside the walls of my house so that I have food, water, and I know my neighbors are going to see that I have electric lights, and they don't. And they're going to be knocking on the door with blankets and pillows in hand. Can we come in? And I'm going to say, yeah, come on in. And also, we've got food, too. And by the way, I'll also say just a couple of requirements. One is I'm boss. It's my house, my rules. 2, first rule is you got to come to my Bible studies. And we're going to get every one of them saved. And we've got some Muslims in the neighborhood. I can't wait. See, it depends on whether you want to chew your fingernails over this thing or whether you're ready to go win souls. I'm comfortable that God is going to take care of me and my family. Hopefully, you're confident of the same thing. And if that's true, then I suggest you get prepared for some of the things that are coming. One of the things that I think is the best thing is actual bread. I actually cooked this bread. That's a loaf I made. And what I did is took wheat berries and I put it into a grinder. 30 seconds later, I've got flour. I put that into a bread machine with 6 other ingredients, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I have a nice hot steaming loaf of bread. The whole house smells wonderful. And even if it's a guest that has never tasted whole wheat homemade bread, they want a piece of it because it is so good. And it's good for you. As a matter of fact, my blood pressure went down, my cholesterol went down, and the only thing I can point it to is wheat. Now, most places, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. At Joseph Kitchen, they can show you how to do it for about $1,000. We have not found anybody that can beat the price of feeding. Why? Because, Joseph and Pharaoh fed the world for 7 years with wheat. There's not one particular food on the planet that is the perfect food. In other words, where you can eat this one food your entire life and stay totally healthy. However, wheat probably comes as close as you can get. I've discovered that eating one slice in the morning, one slice in the afternoon, I'm good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be playing racquetball here in another hour or so. I will eat a slice, except for I think this is Passover, so I won't. But normally I eat a slice before I go play racquetball and I run like a wind because it's got a lot of B vitamins in it, gives me a lot of strength. So I suggest you go to josephkitchen.com, order a machine. I hope you're listening. You better be listening, okay? Order a machine package. That's all of the machines you need to grind the wheat and make the bread. Then you decide how much food you want. You want to have two people 1 year, 6 people a year, one person a year, 4 people. How much food do you want? And you order that. You've got it in stock, ready to go. It'll probably ship within 24 hours. Now, a lot of these places, well, you're waiting 4 to 6 months before they can even ship it. They're out. They're out of stock. Another thing I suggest you do, you should have some gold or silver. That's my suggestion. Anybody should have a handful of gold and a handful of silver at a minimum. That's my recommendation. I'm not a financial expert, but prophecy student to prophecy student, this is what I'd suggest. Why? Because a silver coin might get you food. It might get you gasoline. A gold coin or two might buy you a way to safety. It might buy you a way out of the country. It takes a handful of gold would take a pickup truck load of silver. So silver is something more for daily needs. Gold is something for the really big items. I would send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com, Christians, prophecy students, and they can help you decide. They can take your 401k, they all kinds of things they can help you with. You don't have to get anything immediately. Just call them. Say, hey, okay, here's my situation. This is what I'm thinking. What do you suggest? Start talking. Start talking to them. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Next thing is, when a nuclear device is detonated, dust, it's like a powder, and it settles on everything, every place. Can't avoid it. It absorbs through the skin, absorbs into the food, and it will kill your thyroid. But there's a simple solution. For $30, you can buy these pills, which, by the way, I might add, we ran out of them 2 or 3 times. We've been scratching and clawing trying to find some place that, I think we still have some, but we're scratching and clawing trying to find someone that'll get us some more of them because they're in short supply. Anyway, what this does is flood your thyroid with good iodine to keep the radiated iodine out. Because killed thyroid kills you. $30. That's a simple solution. I also suggest strongly that you have a Berkey water filter. Now, this is the one that I have. Mine will filter enough water for a whole family. It comes with 6 elements. I recommend you get 8 elements. I also recommend that you get some extra filters too. Also, this is the one most people get simply because of price. You don't have to get 4 filters. I think it comes with 2 filters. Anyway, go to prophecyclub.com. Get yourself some water filter. Get yourself prepared. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a prophecy student to see the world is in a lot of trouble. The world's in a lot of trouble. Ask Jesus to forgive your sins. Come into your heart and be your God.
Today, we live in unsettling times. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do when food is no longer on the shelves? I'm Leslie, owner and founder of Joseph's Kitchen, and I want to show you how to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread for only a few $100s a year. At Joseph's Kitchen, our goal is to help you live a more healthy and prepared life. Our products are ready for everyday use, but are also designed for long-term storage. Whether you are looking to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread, or want to be sure your family is prepared, Joseph's Kitchen is pre-packaged to take all the guesswork out. We personally test each harvest to make sure you are getting the highest quality ingredients.
Are you and your family prepared for what may lie ahead? At Joseph's Kitchen, we are your farm-to-table alternative. Go to josephskitchen.com to order today, and be sure to use the promo code on screen to receive your free gift. Don't get caught unprepared. Go to josephskitchen.com now.
Terry Saka with CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. So what's going on in the world of finances? Why should they call today?
Well, China has laid out in a speech a few weeks ago exactly what they think of the United States. I haven't seen that in my 55 years. With China and Russia forming these reserve currencies, new reserve currency, we better be prepared because that dollar is going to be in deep trouble and we're going to need assets to protect us from it.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Call them or go online, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, or call them at 888-747-3309. 888-747-3309. Also, I want to recommend you get my Watchman package. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I got them right here. In this Watchman's package, you get 2 of these 2 foot by 3 foot big charts. Okay, that's one chart. Let me show you the other chart here. And here's the other chart. So these great big charts, 2 foot by 3 foot charts, and they are they're vinyl. They're very nice. Put them up on the wall, 2 foot by 3 foot, and I've got them right here. Of course, it's just 8.5 by 14 charts, so I can refer to them. But if I had a wall a little closer to me, I'd put these up here. Also, you get my handwritten book of Revelation. This is where I hand wrote out the book of Revelation all the way through it, all of the scriptures, and I memorized it. Now, all of this has all of my notes in it. Here, let me pick a page that has some notes. If you see out in the margin there, it has notes. What I think these scriptures are talking about. And then, last year, I did a School of the Watchman. And it's like 18 hours, I think it was. It's on 5 DVDs. We're putting all that together with 5 copies of my very powerful book, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. It's valued at $355 for a gift of $200. You get both charts. You get the 5 discs. You get my book and my book. My book and my book. All for a gift of $200. Very, very good deal. Also, I recommend you go to prophecyclub.com and get all 5 of my books. And I didn't write this one, but I did organize it. You get How Pre-Trib 1, Daniel, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, Miss the Mark, and you get 1 set of each of them, which is actually 40 books for a gift of $100 at prophecyclub.com. And if you need to have, if you don't have this right here on your car, you'll want to get it. This is an EMP Shield device. This one goes on a car. All you have to do, it's simple. They have videos show you, but you just put the black wire on the black side of your battery. The green wire attaches to the body of the car, and the red wire attaches to the red side of the battery. And then the back peels off. You don't even have to put any holes in your car. Back peels off. You stick it someplace under your hood. Takes about 10 minutes for us people that are not mechanically inclined. Probably people mechanically inclined more like 5 minutes to put it on, and then you're good to go. If you'll go to empshield.com, put in the promo code prophecy, you get a $50 discount for everything that you order there. Good deal. Good deal.